we're here at Red's 100-yard indoor range. We got pistol lanes that go to 25, rifle lanes that go to 100. You can shoot here rain or shine 7 days a week, from 9 in the morning till 9 at night. Anyhow, what I wanted to show you today was a way that you could use your red dot and you could precision shoot your red dot. Okay, I know that sounds crazy. But we're going to show you a different way to think about shooting your red dot. And then we're also going to show you how to use your red dot for holdover points, for instant holdover points, 50, 100, 200, 250, 300 yards without adjusting the scope so you can shoot fast. And the reason is I had some weapons that were originally set up for, close range and shooting fast. And they shot so well. I want to try and figure out a way that I could get more out of the weapon without putting a scope on it. I wanted to leave a red dot on it. They shoot fast. I didn't want to put a 3-9 scope on a AK-47 pistol. They shoot good enough you almost want to, but I just didn't want to do that. So anyhow, I'm an old iron sight shooter. I've been shooting for 50 years. As a kid, we always shot 22s and stuff. We always shot iron sights. I didn't get a scope till I was on a deer rifle. I was probably in high school. All of the guns that we shot from the time we could walk up were always iron sights. So I'm used to shooting top of post. Okay. So what I want you to think about in that red dot is think of the top of the dot as the top of the post. Because everybody's been trying to go smaller and smaller and smaller and smaller on the dot from 2 MOA to 1 MOA, and they're trying to cover up what they're shooting with the dot. And then when you go that small, a lot of times it's like it's not a round dot. It looks kind of like a starburst, or some people say it looks like a bunch of grapes. It's not round, and it glares because it's so small. So what I wanted to do was, since being an old iron sight shooter, I could think of top of post as top of dot. So we started trying that, and then I started thinking about line of sight, line of flight. People talk about a bullet rising. A bullet doesn't rise. As soon as it comes out of the barrel, it's dropping. But you have the line of sight of the scope, and you have the intersection point. You have the line of flight of the bullet. And where those two intersect is where you sight in at. All right? So that's why people think bullets rise. So now if you use the dot you can change that sight-in point. So here's a really rough drawing. Don't laugh at my little kitty drawing here. But you get the general idea of there's your scope or your sight, your line of sight, line of flight, and this is where they intersect, and that's what you sight in at. Now we tried that and shooting top of dot, and it worked good. But I don't want it just sighted in for one distance because we shoot a different distance all the time. So here's what we started thinking about on like a 10-inch barrel pistol. If you have a 4 MOA dot at 50 yards, the dot is 2 inches, you're 1 inch above center. At 100 yards, it's a 4-inch dot and you're 2 inches above center. And then at 200, it's an 8-inch dot, 4 inches above. 250, it's a 10-inch dot. Okay, the way I like to sight in my iron sights is I like to sight in a little bit above the top of the post. Because we shoot at little bitty stuff. If you never miss your target, you're shooting at too big of a target. You're not going to learn anything if you never miss. So we shoot at itty-bitty tiny stuff, crumbs and pieces. So what I found out is if you sight in just a little bit above your top of post where you can see what you're shooting at, you can hit it better. Now I'm not talking about like a Mosin Nagant or an M96 Swede that shoots 7 or 8 inches high at 100. Okay, you can't shoot at that if you're 8 inches high. You can't judge that. But if you're just a little bit, you can judge it and you can shoot that. So now if you're thinking about that, let's just say we're a 1/2 inch high, 100 top of dot or Think about the top of dot as top of front post. So with that dot is 4-inch dot, so you're 2 inches from center up, plus a half an inch, you're 2.5 inches high at 100. Well, one of those 7.62 by 39 pistols, if you're 2.5 inches high at 100, okay, you're dead on at 200, center of the dot. I don't turn my dot ups all the way wide open bright. I like to keep it down where it's enough that I can see it. A lot of times if I can see through it, that's fine. I like to keep it down the lower end of the scale. It keeps the edges more round and doesn't give you the starburst effect. So, if you're 2.5 inches high at 100, you're on at 200. And on these pistols, the bottom of the dot, and I'll show you something else to help you visualize that. Right on. Now, if you're shooting at 50 or 100 yards, I'm going to knock this off. If you're shooting at 50 or 100 yards, you're hitting right there. Okay? So then at 200 yards, you're hitting right here. Center of the dot. At 250 yards for the pistols or 300 yards for the rifles. The rifles are longer barrel, higher muzzle velocity, don't drop as much. Then you're hitting right here. Now, think about that as a clock, whether you're 12 o'clock or 6 o'clock, and if you have that red dot and you're aiming right on the top of that dot, you can hit little bitty stuff. Little bitty stuff. Okay? So that's what we're doing. Now the pistols and rifles are different. You can use a different size dot to do the same thing. So that's what I'm trying to do, is to where everything is the same no matter what gun I pick up. If it's a 7.5 inch barrel, 7.62 by 39 AR-15 pistol, if it's a 10 3/8 inch PAP 92, or it's a AR-15 rifle and it's a carbine with a 16-inch barrel, I change the dot size to where no matter what firearm I pick up, they're all the same. I don't have to remember from one to the next. So here's that math and that formula for you. We already talked about the 4 MOA dot. Okay, now on a 3 MOA dot for a rifle. 3 MOA dot is 3 inches, 1.5 inches above center. So if you look at a 69 grain bullet for a 223, they're 1.25 inches to 1 7/16 inches or whatever, high at 100 to be on at 200. So there you go, you're on at 200. Top of the dot at 100 is 0 at 200. Now a 3 MOA dot at 300 yards is 9 inches. And if you look at your ballistics chart from 200 to 300, you're right about 9 inches, so it's bottom of the dot. So on the rifles, that works well. I always shoot the heavier end of the bullets. If I have a choice, I'll shoot the heavier end of the bullet rather than the 55 grains. But anyhow, now if you shoot the 7.5 inch barrel pistols, what I have done is I've gone to a 5 MOA dot, and this all works out exactly the same, just like it does for the rifle, just like it does for the 10-inch pistol. You got a shorter barrel, you lose more muzzle velocity, so you need a larger dot to put you in the same spot. If you don't want to do that, and you don't have a ton of rifles, and you're not worried about everything being the same, to where no matter what you pick up, it's all sighted in exactly the same, you can do it with a 4 MOA dot. It's just at 250, you'll be a little low. It's not going to be a whole bunch. It'll be about that much low at 250. So it's not, a big deal, but I like to try and have all of mine sighted in the same. It doesn't matter the dot size. I keep it on the low end. I just want a perfectly round dot. And then no matter what I pick up, they're all the same, exactly the same. But you can do it with a 4 MOA dot. Just bear in mind it works out, but at 250, you're going to have to aim about that much high above what you're shooting at. And at 250 yards, that's not that big of a deal. I mean, you're not going to be shooting at golf balls at 250 yards or anything like that. But, so that's what we do. And you know, people that I've taken out there and sat down the bench, drew a picture where to aim, and I can put anybody on the bench and they just, they shoot the clay pigeons at 100 yards. They can take an 8-inch plate at 250 off a rest, okay? Because I want to show them what the pistol can do. Some people are better shots than others, but you get them on a rest, and they can take that 8-inch plate at 250 yards with an AR-15 or an AK pistol and just wear it out. And you wouldn't think they could do that with a 7.5-inch or 10-inch barrel pistol. And then we got some videos coming out that we'll post later on. I've got some videos up now with the AAK pistol shooting clay pigeons at 100 yards. I've got a video we'll post in a while. I'm gonna let that video run for a while. I got a video shooting clay pigeons at 250 yards with that AK pistol. There's some little tricks that you can do that make these guns really shoot just amazingly well. And we're going to show you all these little tips and tricks and all these little things that you can do, and they all add up. You know, if you have one little thing that'll cut your group size in half, and something else will help you more, and something else will do another 25 to 30% on your group, and it just starts shrinking down to where these things, it's just amazing what you can do with them. But anyhow, we're going to show you all these little tips and tricks, and if you'll sign up to the YouTube channel, then whenever we post a new video, you'll get the email alert, and then you can see it. Just be sure and help us out and show it to all your friends and your shooting buddies, and tell them about it, because we don't have anything for sale on the website. We're just here to help you shoot better.